What a setting as the Blue Jays finish up their spring schedule. A huge crowd at Olympic Stadium in Montreal set to see the Blue Jays against the Reds before opening day comes on Monday in New York. A pitch hasn't yet been thrown, and already there's a player of the game. He's standing by with Hazel May.
Thanks very much with Russell Martin Sr. My goodness, chills going down the Big O with that beautiful rendition of the national anthems. You've done this before at Chavez Ravine with the Dodgers, but tell me, how different was it, sir, to do it here at Olympic Stadium?
You sort of have to close off everything, and just in your preparation, you allow yourself to feel the emotion of the moment and the stories that led up, and the emotion in the stories that led up, and I try to let as much of that out as I can.
I spoke to Russell earlier. He said he hoped you kept it together. Congratulations, you did. But as a parent, I know you want to get going. As a parent, how fulfilling is it to watch your child really play out a lifelong dream?
It's off the chart. It's just off the chart. If you ask me in a while after the game and after looking at everything and all of that, but arriving here at this moment is just so extraordinary. He's put in so much hard work. It's unbelievable how hard these guys work to make it look this easy, you know.
Boy, the talent runs deep in the Martin family. Russell Martin Sr., congratulations. Have a fantastic weekend, sir. Thank you for doing this.
Thank you very much, Hazel. It's
all
been
right.
a pleasure. Thank you.
Back to you guys.
What a wonderful man, Russell Martin Sr., and he'll be watching his son catch for the Toronto Blue Jays in front of a huge crowd tonight here on Sportsnet. A reminder, we'll be on the air tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 a.m. Pacific for Game 2 of this series as Daniel Norris takes the mound, and then it's opening day on Monday. The Blue Jays will be in New York. Let's get this 162-game season underway. For now, though, from wherever you're watching across the country, sit back and enjoy. Coming up next, the first pitch of this ball game. It's the Reds and Blue Jays on Sportsnet.
Terrific lead up to this ball game tonight. Lots of emotions, lots of ceremonies. Orlando Cabrera and Vladimir Guerrero were introduced and honored before the game, and a special treat tonight. Russell Martin Sr. played the saxophone and played both national anthems in front of his son and 40,000 people in the ballpark. It was a special moment.
I got chills listening to it, and they kept showing Russell Martin up on the big screen while his dad was doing what he was doing down on the field. What a special bond that those two have together.
It was really interesting. I spoke to Russell about his father, and he said, I don't think my father's seen me play in 3 or 4 years. So this is going to be an extra special night. Not only is Russell home in Montreal, where he grew up, but he's here with his father, and his father was able to play both national anthems tonight. And this is a great atmosphere. This atmosphere is special not only for Russell Martin and Joey Votto, the two Canadians that are in this game, but for the ball clubs. This is nothing like they experienced. Cincinnati was in Arizona, the Blue Jays were in Florida, and it is a special atmosphere tonight.
I think whoever put this together for these teams, it's a stroke of genius, because in spring training you're playing day games, you're on small fields in the sunlight and everything. This really captures what you're going to have on opening day or opening night. You're in a big ballpark, you've got 40,000 plus people in the stands. It really feels good what it's going to be like when the Blue Jays open up in New York against the Yankees, especially more so this year than last year, I think, with all the young kids that they're having.
Russell Martin taking his spot behind the plate. Reds manager Brian Price in his second season. Let's take a look at the Reds lineup as a team. The Reds hit 276 so far in spring training. Speed at the top of the order. Billy Hamilton, 56 steals last year. Joey Votto in the 2 spot. Frazier, Mesoraco in third, middle of the order. Jay Bruce. Brandon Phillips drops down into the 7th spot. Shortstop Zach Kozak. And a 30-year-old career minor leaguer Marquez Smith is the DH tonight. The starting pitchers are brought to you by Scott's Weed Be Gone. This spring, knock weeds out of your park with Scott's Weed Be Gone. Kills weeds, not lawns.
Mr. Reliable Mark Burley will take the mound for his 5th and final tune-up here in spring training. There are the numbers from last year. It's his 16th Major League season. He started those 32 games. You see that right there for Blue Jays last year. That's the 11th time he has made at least 32 starts in the season. It's the final tune-up before he gets his first start in Baltimore on April the 10th.
Defensively behind Burley, this will be the opening day lineup. Chances are in New York on Monday afternoon. Kevin Pillar has played well all spring. Dalton Pompey, the 22-year-old center fielder, and Jose Bautista, anxious to make his 6th consecutive opening day start for the Blue Jays. Donaldson, Reyes, Travis, and Smoke from 3rd to 1st. Russell Martin, the Montreal native, behind the plate for the veteran Mark Burley.
He gets a lifelong dream to play here at the Big O, where he came so many times as a young player to watch the Expos.
And Burley delivers a strike to Billy Hamilton. We are underway. That's bunted up the first baseline. Justin Smoke is not going to get Hamilton. He tried to cut him off at the base pass and couldn't make the tag.
Le numéro 19, le premier but. Number 19, first baseman, Joey Votto.
Special little conversation between 2 Canadian major leaguers. Joey Votto steps in front of Russell Martin. Votto batting 2nd. Just 62 games a year ago. A total of 220 at-bats. He had 255. Obviously a down year because of injuries.
And that snapped a streak of leading the league in walks for 3 straight seasons. That's why he's batting 2nd. It's that great on-base percentage behind Hamilton in front of the big guns for the Reds.
This is a very interesting matchup with speed at first in the person of Billy Hamilton and Mark Burley. He's as tough as anybody to run on.
He's got one of the best pickoff moves in baseball history. He can negate a running game very easily.
99 career pickoffs, and there's the calling card pickoff. Last year, base stealers were just 1 for 4 all season long against Mark Burley. He just doesn't give you much of a chance to steal.
They're reading that scouting report. They know he's got a great move and he's quick to home.
He's got it. Oh, Hamilton avoided the tag. Burley gave him the good move there and had him picked off.
Like Justin Smoke was surprised just a little bit as he catches the ball. Hamilton's not back, and Hamilton does a good job of going to the back of that base, avoiding the tag.
While the game's going on between the mound and first, Joey Votto's behind 1 and 2. A little bit of a distraction for the hitter as well.
You know, that's how you shut down a running game, right? Like that. You almost pick him off now. That lead is a little bit shorter. It looks like he's trying to get a walking lead off of Mark Burley.
There's that inside cutter that serves Burley so well. He just missed the corner. Mark Burley on a record pace, 14 straight seasons, 200 plus innings. There's another average move.
Yeah, still hasn't shown him the good one. And he's got a good one. He really hangs that leg out there and really makes that first baseman, that first runner at first base, decide which way he's going to go.
Ground ball, this should be two. Travis, the long toss to Reyes. Academic 4-6-3 double play. That's something you're going to get used to this year. This is a much better defensive ball club than you've seen in the past.
Better athletes, good athletes on the infield, starting with Justin Smoke at first base, and then the youngster Devin Travis. I was talking with John Gibbons before the game, and I asked him, what do you like about Devin Travis over there at second base? He says he's a baseball player. He's got great instincts out there, and he has really fielded his position.
Travis is 24 years old. Burley continues to work quickly, and Todd Frazier is behind 0-1. Terrific season a year ago for Frazier. 29 homers and 80 RBIs. He was a 20-20 man for the first time in his career. 20 homers and 20 stolen bases.
Got the opportunity last year with all the injuries that the Reds had offensively. Joey Votto, you mentioned him. He missed a ton of games. Jay Bruce missed a lot of games last year, so Todd Frazier and Devin Mesorasko picked up the slack.
A little too much movement from Martin with that glove, and Burley didn't get the call. 2 balls, 2 strikes. We're at the top of the first. Off-speed pitch. Reyes hits short. Takes his time. 3 up, 3 down for Burley with a double play. We are in Montreal. Russell Martin will bat second. When we come back, a chance for the native to thrill his friends and family. For the spring, they have pitched very well, a .368 earned run average, and they lead the American League with 34 home runs. Top of the order, Jose Reyes. I think he's primed to have a big season this year. Russell Martin will bat second. Bautista, Encarnacion, and Donaldson. Top 5 in this order, as good as anybody in baseball. Dalton Pompey, the rookie, in the 6th spot. Smoke, Pilar, and Devin Travis round out the 9-man lineup.
What a nice surprise Jason Marquis has been for the Cincinnati Reds. He was signed to a minor league contract with an invitation to Major League Spring Training on January 20th, a couple of weeks before spring camp opened up, and he was excellent this year. He leads the staff in innings pitched with 26, and he's tied for the lead in starts with 6. The veteran's been around, and he knows how to pitch.
Defensively in the outfield, the veteran Marlon Byrd is in left field. Billy Hamilton with great speed in center. Jay Bruce, one of the best right fielders in the game. Todd Frazier and Zach Cozart on the left side. Brandon Phillips and Joey Votto on the right side. And young Devin Mesorasko has quickly become one of the best catchers in the National League. Jose Reyes goes after the first pitch. Billy Hamilton calls for it and makes the catch, 1 down.
Le numéro 55, le receveur. Number 55, the catcher, Russell Martin.
moment for baseball in Montreal as the native son comes home and he takes the first pitch strike from Jason Markey.
How exciting was that? A little standing ovation for Russell Martin. He takes strike one, and the whole crowd that was just cheering wildly started booing.
Booed the umpire. How can you call a strike on our man Russell? Cut out and missed. 1-2 to Russell Martin, the Blue Jays catcher, and saw his numbers from the spring a year ago with the Pirates. Russell hit .290, 11 homers and 67 RBIs. This is tapped foul along the third baseline.
Even though he has played 9 seasons in the major leagues, he's pretty much seen it all already at the big league level. There's nothing like coming home, playing in your hometown with the fans going crazy. He's got to be excited. His heart's got to be pounding right now. He's got to do something.
Pretty good pitch by Marquis. Missed the outside corner. Russell was drafted and signed with the LA Dodgers in 2002. Made his major league debut in May of 2006. There's a cutter for a strikeout. Ball sailed up and away. Marquis looking at Marshall. A little bit new wrinkle. It's been a busy day for Russell Martin. He's had to fulfill a lot of media requests. He's been, of course, the topic of conversation throughout the media. And he is still talking about that last pitch that Marquis threw. He said, that's a new wrinkle. It's a little cutter I've not seen from Marquis in the past. So you can teach old dogs new tricks.
Telling you, he had a great spring for the Cincinnati Reds. He wasn't on their radar. Signed late, put together an outstanding spring. He's going to be in their rotation.
Marquis is 36 years old. He's now got a 1-1 count on Bautista. He signed originally with the Braves. He was a #1 pick in 1995 of Atlanta. Changeup missed off the plate.
The whole key for Jason Marquis, he's got to keep that sinker down. When he keeps it down like that, he gets a lot of ground ball outs. Once it starts elevating up in the strike zone, he can give up the home run.
That's cued off the end of the bat. Votto has it go off the end of his glove. Looked like it had a lot of spin on this artificial surface, so when Joey Votto got there, it just kicked off the tip of his glove. That should be an infield hit for Bautista.
And Joey had a little bit more time, I think, than he thought he had. It looked like he rushed it at the end. The whole infield was swung around. You see him, he's the only fielder on the right side of the infield. He gets to it, you can see Bautista is about halfway to first base, but once it kicks off of his glove, Bautista's going to be safe. You can see plenty of time. He just missed it.
So it is an infield single with 2 outs for Bautista. He's at first now for Edwin Encarnacion. Edwin's starting to heat up right at the end of spring training. Hits this ball hard. Frazier's there at third. They'll go to second to force Bautista. The inning is over. A 2-out single and nothing more. We've played an inning in Montreal. It's a scoreless game.
Jays on SportsNet. Presented by the 2015 Honda CR-V, Motor Trend's 2015 Sport Utility of the Year.
We are in Montreal at the Olympic Stadium. That's a bouncing ball, backhanded by Donaldson. He takes his time, and on one pitch, Devin Mesoraco, the catcher, is out. Blue Jays came here last year and played the Minnesota Twins, and they had over 90,000, Minnesota Twins, the New York Mets, and they had over 90,000 fans, and they're going to approach that number again this season. Of course, a lot of Blue Jay fans in attendance, a lot of Expo jerseys in the crowd.
I can't believe as many Expo jerseys. I saw a Scott Downs jersey, Larry Walker. Before the game, Buck, I had a chance to go downstairs and walk around the concourse. The fans are fired up to have baseball back in Montreal, aren't they?
Yeah, they sure are, and we have seen it throughout the last 2 days as Marlon Byrd lifts one into left field. Pilar pays it on a hop, one out single for Marlon Byrd. We mentioned Russell Martin has been busy since the Blue Jays got here last night. This was earlier today downtown. They had a Rogers Station set up where Martin could sign autographs, meet the fans, and we saw a lot of fans headed down there. That was on Rene Levesque, not far from our hotel.
He's been a busy guy. Everybody wants a piece of him.
And you know what? Russell's been very accommodating all throughout spring training and here, of course, in Montreal. He's got a busy week ahead of him. After this weekend in Montreal, he goes to New York where he played with the Yankees for 2 years. So it's going to be a demanding week for Russell Martin. This is Jay Bruce having a tough spring, although he hit 3 home runs, batting just $1.95 for the spring. This is popped up, playable. Russell Martin. Reyes was in the shift. Martin gets in there in foul ground to make the catch. Jay Bruce is retired on the pop-up.
Yeah, that's the tough thing about that shift, and you're going to shift against Jay Bruce because he's a dead pull hitter. It's Jose Reyes on the whole left side. Any pop-up like that, normally the third baseman's going to come in and catch it easily. That was Russell Martin, the only guy who could have made that play.
John Gibbons' Blue Jays had a good spring training. Not only their record, but they accomplished an awful lot of things with a bunch of new players. They worked hard on fundamentals, implemented the defense with those shifts in place, and overall I think they had a great spring.
You and I had a chance to watch them the other day do infield practice, and they were practicing turning the double play while they were in the shift. And the guy who was making the double play, Josh Donaldson, acting as a second baseman. That was interesting.
Pretty interesting. This is Brandon Phillips who pulls it to third. There is the aforementioned Donaldson. That'll end the inning. Mark Burley, as always, working very quickly, getting the ground ball outs.
spring training in Florida next year, there is a great way you can find yourself with tickets. Just purchase a bag of Old Dutch potato chips, then enter your eligible UPC code at bluejays.com/Old Dutch contest. One lucky fan will win a trip to 2016 spring training with the Blue Jays in Dunedin. Prizes include tickets, airfare, and hotel. Full contest rules at bluejays.com. Buck, you won't have crowds like this in Dunedin, but it's sure a lot of fun.
It sure is a lot of fun in spring training, and I, for one, am glad we're in Montreal. I had enough of spring training. It's time to start the season.
You had enough of that sunshine and beautiful weather?
Didn't it feel good walking down the street last night? A little cool breeze. This is Josh Donaldson. He skies it to right. Jay Bruce over near the line. Donaldson's retired. We want to remind you, if you're looking for the Montreal Canadiens, they are in New Jersey tonight to take on the Devils, and you can catch all that action right now on Sportsnet 360. So the NHL season is winding down. The Canadiens were here last night. They got beat by the Washington Capitals, and tonight they're in New Jersey, and you can check it out on Sportsnet 360. Dalton Pompey, boy, he was pumped up about being here for this game. Great opportunity to play in front of a big crowd. Blue Jays will open up the regular season Monday afternoon at Yankee Stadium. Off-speed pitch, pulled foul. Yankees last year in their home opener had over 48,000. The crowd will be somewhat like that here tonight. And Dalton Pompey will get his first opening day start on Monday afternoon.
Yeah, he got a chance last year to come up in September to see what the big leagues was all about, and I think that was really good for him. So when they roll the calendar around to spring training, he's not going to be intimidated by anything.
Dalton got into 17 games last September. Hit a home run that came off King Felix. Had a stolen base. Just a little bit of everything, an opportunity to kind of get rid of some of the jitters. Another off-speed pitch, and this is popped up. Marquis in foul ground as the third baseman Todd Frazier calls him off. Jason Marquis is an exceptional athlete. He's a good fielder and a very good hitter. In fact, he won the Silver Slugger Award in 2005 for the best hitting pitcher in the National League.
He was an all-star in 2009. Former first-round draft pick by the Braves. You mentioned some of the teams that he's played for. He has played for a slew of teams in the big leagues.
And you can see why he still has a job. Changing speeds very effectively. This is Justin Smoke. This is his first year with the Blue Jays. Those spring numbers got better at the end than they were at the beginning.
He had some kinks to work out in his swing. It felt like he was wrapping the bat just a little bit. Right now, he's just letting it go, and you can see the defense. They know that he's starting to swing a hot bat. They are playing him to pull.
Justin Smoke a year ago hit .202 with the Seattle Mariners, played in 80 games in Seattle. During his time in AAA Tacoma, he hit .337. Another off-speed pitch. This is trouble down the left side. Marlon Byrd makes the catch into fair territory. Smoke's retired. 3 up, 3 down inning for Jason Marquis. I can see why he won a job in the spring.
That is the official app of Major League Baseball. Listen to live audio, follow games pitch by pitch, and enjoy in-game video highlights. The app is available on the iPhone, iPad, iPod Touch, Android, and BlackBerry. Season-long subscription packages are available. Visit BlueJays.com for more details. Buck and Tabby, that is a must for any baseball fan.
But it sure is, Barry, and if you were on the MLB.com app right now, you'd find out there's some breaking news around baseball. Josh Hamilton, according to the arbitrator, is not in violation of the joint drug agreement, and they say that the commissioner can't suspend him. That's going to be an interesting development.
Very interesting, but there was one guy today who was caught.
Irvin Santana of the Minnesota Twins was suspended for 80 games for PED use. Dalton Pompey ranges deep into center to haul that one in off the bat of Zach Cozart, the shortstop. One down. Dalton Pompey has the range to really cover a lot of ground, and he's going to see that tested in the first series of the season in Yankee Stadium. That's a big center field.
Huge center field, huge left center field, and he's going to be fine. He is a good athlete, and he adapts well.
This is Marquez Smith, and he's an interesting story. He is 30 years old. He has spent 8 years in the minor leagues. Last year, he played in Bakersfield in the California League. As a 29-year-old, he was 6 years older than the average player in that league.
California League, that's A-ball, isn't it?
That's A-ball, yep. Ooh. This is his third year with the Cincinnati Reds organization. He's from Panama City, Florida. He was signed originally by the Cubs. He spent time with the Cubs, Boston, and Cincinnati, all in minors. Off-speed pitch, pulled to third. In time, 2 down. Burley looks sharp.
He is really changing speeds right now. That changeup is really floating. He's got great arm action on that changeup, and he's putting it in a good spot.
Of course, last year he had a terrific start to his season. It was the quickest to 10 wins in his career. He won his 10th game on June 1st when he beat Kansas City 4-0. That time he had a 10-1 record with a .210 earned run average.
And where did it all start for him last year?
Right here in Montreal. There's a little looper. This is Troll. That's going to drop for a base hit. Billy Hamilton's going to test Bautista's arm, and that never works. Oh! Safe at second. Mike Estabrook, the umpire at second, had perfect position to make the call. Bautista threw a one-hop strike. Reyes put the quick tag, and you can see Bautista thought he had nailed it.
He's intense, isn't he? Even in preseason games, he lays back because of the turf and then makes a good throw. And I think this is where replay really would have helped, because it looked like he was out. It looked like he got him before he got to the bag. Yeah. Mike Estabrook calls him safe.
Yeah, it looked like he tagged him. It was high on the knee, but it appeared to be before that foot hit the bag. So Hamilton's at second with a hustle double. Joey Votto grounded into a 4-6-3 double play his first time up. Justin Smoke. Mark Burley gets there in time. That's the value of that great glove at first. He takes a hit away from Joey Votto. The Reds leave one, still scoreless in Montreal. Davis, who's got some very interesting guests in the seats.
I do indeed, Buck. I am surrounded by Pompeys, and let's talk to Ken here. And Ken, I know last year when Dalton was up, you didn't want to take anything for granted. You said when he makes it, then we'll talk on camera. Well, your son got the call. He's made the opening day lineup. What does that mean to you?
It means a lot, Barry. It means a lot. No, we're pretty happy. It's a lot of work, but we know the work continues. So we're not going to relax, not in the least. We're not going to relax. We're going to earn our way all the way through this year.
And that's something I imagine that you taught Dalton growing up as well, right? Don't take anything for granted. You have to work for everything.
Absolutely, absolutely. Like the everyday man, you know, these guys come here. It's a game of failure, and if you can deal with the failure, it makes it easier to appreciate the victories.
Dalton told me last week that it was still kind of a surreal feeling. I imagine his parents, it has to be that same feeling sometimes.
No, absolutely. Again, you know, you pinch yourself every day. You know, the work's paying off, and the work continues with not only Dalton, but with Tristan as well. I'm just as enthusiastic about Tristan's future as I am with Dalton's future. It continues. It doesn't stop.
And it just so happens we have Tristan sitting right beside me on the other side. And Tristan, you had a chance to play against your brother in spring training. Talk to me about what that experience was like for you.
It was pretty unreal, actually. Like, knowing that my brother was on the other side of the diamond, it was pretty awesome. Like, I knew one day I would be there as well. Like, it just gave me that extra push that I was going to be there.
You know, there was a time where being a kid growing up in Toronto, the chances of making it to the big leagues weren't great. They continue to get better and better. When you see how Dalton, your brother, managed to get there, how much more motivation did that give to you to say, hey, it can happen?
Oh, a lot. Even like Joey Votto, all the other Canadians that have made it, it's just like every year there seems to be more and more of like the Canadian players getting up there. So I mean, and my brother I was just icing on the cake basically. Like I was like, wow, like I'm my turn next, right? Because he's there. I'm just hoping I can be there in the next like 5-6 years as well.
Dalton's played in front of some big crowds in Toronto and on the road, and you've played in front of some crowds as well. But let me ask you this. What do you think of this crowd here tonight, and maybe some of the nerves that your brother must be feeling playing in front of a crowd this big?
Yeah, this crowd is massive. Like, I don't think I've ever seen like a Blue Jays game this packed, other than like a season opener, right? But I don't know. He's probably real nervous, but he deals with like pressure really well, so he should be okay.
And I just wanted to ask you, Ken, what do you think of the Big O? Obviously, they haven't played baseball here in a while, a regular season, but your son was telling me that he was amazed by how many people were here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great to see the support that Montreal is giving baseball. I think they want baseball back, Barry.
I think they do, too. Well, listen, Pompeys, thank you very much. Enjoy the moment, enjoy the season, and we'll send it back upstairs to you, Buck.
Thank you very much, Barry. Nice job down there, as you got to hear from Ken and Tristan Pompey. And, of course, Dalton and Tristan played against each other when the Canadian junior national team played the Blue Jays down in spring training. And it was a special time for a couple of brothers to be on the same field competing against one another.
I'm not sure which one was more excited, Dalton playing against Tristan or just Tristan playing against Dalton. From everything that I saw and talked to the guys, they were both very excited.
To give you an idea about the makeup of this team, as you mentioned, Dalton Pompey and Devin Travis are rooming together, and during that weekend when the national team was down there, Travis went to Dalton Pompey and said, hey, if you want your little brother to come over and stay with us, I'll sleep on the couch. That's pretty cool. Jose Reyes is retired. Quick inning, 3 up, 3 down. Jason Marquis has set down 7 in a row.
Sun Sports. Presented by the 2015 Honda CR-V, Motor Trend's 2015 Sport Utility of the Year.
Lots of excitement here at the Big O in Montreal. Some throwback Montreal Expos jerseys. Of course, the Expos left after the 2004 season. Todd Frazier goes after the first pitch and hooks it sharply foul down the left side. Todd Frazier's 29 years old. He was a former first-round pick back in 2007. It was a compensation pick for the Reds because they lost Rich Aurelia, fine shortstop, to free agency.
It's a pretty good trade. That's doing your homework right there. This guy is a good player. 29 home runs last year as a third baseman.
He was voted to the All-Star team by the players in the players' vote. Served as a postseason analyst for TBS. Quite an interesting young man. Here he strikes out against Burley. For Mark Burley, that's his first strikeout of the night.
You know, he did it with different pitches. He got the check swing. He had the foul ball down the left field line. Now he's going to pull the string. You can see how far out in front Todd Frazier is on that off-speed pitch by Burley. First strikeout of the night.
This is Devin Mesoraco, the catcher. Mesoraco grounded out to third base on the first pitch back in the second inning. That's a fair ball. Nice play by Donaldson. What a snag by Smoke on the other end. Good defense, and we mentioned this Blue Jays ball club has a much better defensive makeup right now than they did last year.
They're going to show you why right here. Down the line, he takes extra bases away right there. Sets himself, and now on the short hop, Justin Smoke goes out and smothers that ball. Good athletes on this infield right now. When you watch Reyes, the way he's been at shortstop this spring, Devin Travis, and then the guys on the corner. It's a good defensive team, and with Mark Burley on the mound, you need good fielders.
Left side of the infield, especially because Burley's going to have a lot of balls pulled to that side. There's another one. This one's foul. That fan jumped up very quickly and had to bounce off his glove. Let's see if he's going to get a second chance to catch it. Nope.
He was hiding behind the glass. That's why he didn't get that one.
This is Marlon Byrd. He hit 25 home runs last year for the Phillies. That was a career high.
He'll hit his home runs, but he'll also strike out. But right now, the Reds picked up Marlon Byrd because they needed a right-handed hitter and they needed a left fielder. He's going to fit the bill.
Justin Smoke waves off the pitcher, steps on the bag. Another quick inning for Mark Burley. Good defense all around. This time it's the third baseman, Josh Donaldson, from foul ground across the diamond in time to get Mesoraco.
For the most part, I'm just going to try and treat it like if it was a regular game, although I know it's not. It's already been pretty special. Just to be in Montreal this time of the year, I feel like I haven't been in Montreal at this time of the year in like 17 years, so that's cool enough to begin with. But going to have a ton of people, at the game, family, friends. But for the most part, I'm going to go up to the plate and get ready to hit. I'm going to try and treat it just like it's a regular game.
Russell Martin was born in East York, Ontario, moved to Montreal when he was about 2 years old, so he grew up here in Montreal and still has a lot of family and friends in the area. And it has been a busy day, but you can hear the excitement in his voice. He has not regretted a moment since the plane landed here last night as far as being back home, and the excitement to play in front of your hometown crowd is pretty special.
I asked him today what it meant, and he said it's like a lifelong dream to come down to the stadium where I used to come as a little boy and watch all my heroes of the Montreal Expos like Larry Walker and Marquise Grissom and get a chance to step out there and hit.
The man there on the left of your screen is Russell Martin Sr., and he played the saxophone for both national anthems prior to this game. And you can see he's not sitting down. I don't think he sat down all day long. Russell's back in town, and Russell said he doesn't think his father has seen him play in the big leagues for the last 3 or 4 years. But I spoke to Senior about watching his son play, and he said, yeah, as a father what it's like to see your son succeed, and I'm so proud of what Russell has done. Brandon Phillips throws to Votto, and Russell Martin's retired. Earlier before this game, Orlando Cabrera and Vladimir Guerrero both spent 8 years as part of the Expos organization, and Russell Martin was strapping on the catching gear, and you can see the emotions getting to him as he listened to his father play both national anthems, and it was a special pregame ceremony. The two Expos were honored, and then before the lineups were exchanged, the national anthems were played by Russell Martin Sr. Jose Bautista bounces out to third base, 2 quick outs. Jason Marquis is sailing right through this lineup. He's had a heck of a spring. He has a big smile on his face, and as I mentioned, he is now 36 years old. He last pitched in the major leagues in 2013. Edwin Encarnacion.
It was a late signing also. We talked about that at the beginning of the telecast. It wasn't until January 20th that he inked the deal with the Reds to come to spring training.
Sharply hit, good hop for Frazier. Long throw, easy out. 3 up, 3 down. Just 7 pitches. We have played 4 innings here. Now it's time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn.
Boston Celtics take on the playoff-bound Toronto Raptors. Pre-game show gets underway at 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific. It's the Raptors on Sportsnet 360.
Fast-paced ball game here in Montreal. Both pitchers are really locked in. A total of just 4 hits in the ball game. This is a young left-hander, Matt Boyd. He was a 6th-round pick in 2013 out of Oregon State University. He's 6'3", weighs 215. Last year in Dunedin, he got off to a great start. He went 5-3 with a 139 earned run average, pitched 90 2/3 innings, allowed just 65 hits. He's a strike-throwing machine.
And had 103 strikeouts in high A ball for the Blue Jays. They then moved him up to New Hampshire. We're seeing that a lot now from the Blue Jays. They're starting to move their prospects when they start to do something. Not as good at New Hampshire, 1-4 with a 6.96 ERA, but he is a big left-hander. He's 6'3", 215 pounds. He's a college-age pitcher. So the Blue Jays have another lefty coming up through the system. Will probably start the year in AA this year.
That's where he finished up in New Hampshire. He made 10 starts in AA. So Mark Burley, he has a good final tune-up to his spring training. He allowed no runs on 3 hits. Jay Bruce goes after the first pitch and fouls it out of play.
Now talk about some of the young veteran players being nervous playing in front of a crowd like this. How about a player who was in A-ball last year coming up? That boy getting a chance now with the Blue Jays, so you got to figure he's excited to face these big leaguers.
Ball and a strike to Jay Bruce. Late on that fastball.
Here are the numbers that we were talking about in 26 starts between Dunedin and New Hampshire. High A ball and AA, a very good earned run average of 317. Blue Jays have done this in the past. They did it last year when they brought up Aaron Sanchez to pitch in this ball game to get some exposure and have some of the staff take a look at some of these young prospects.
There's a drive to right. Bautista is back. He's got room. Makes the catch. He takes one away from his right field counterpart, Jay Bruce.
That'll help a young pitcher, won't it? Get the first guy out that you face.
Well, all I got to do is look around the field and go, okay, I got Donaldson at third, Reyes at short, Travis and Smoke. Okay, they can all catch it. And I got Bautista in right, and Pompey in center, and Pilar. That's a pretty good defense.
And you're throwing to a Gold Glover.
Yeah, Russell Martin.
Don't outthink yourself right here. Just make good quality pitches.
I tell you what, Dan, I got a chance to go down to the minor leagues and see some of the young pitching prospects, and what we have seen this spring with the development of Sanchez, Norris, Hutchison, Osuna, Castro, and they just keep coming and coming. Change up, missed up and away. If you can create a feeder of starting pitching, you can compete with anybody. I don't care how much you hit.
One of the first things that Alex Anthopoulos did when he took over as general manager, as that ball is hit down the right field side,
Bautista is not going to get there in time,
is use a lot of high draft picks on pitching. I believe his first 5 picks when he became general manager were all pitchers. And they've traded away some of those guys. Justin Nicolino comes to mind, and Noah Syndergaard, but there's more on the way. So his drafts have really been top-heavy when it comes to starting pitching. And I think you're starting to see those guys develop in the farm system, and they're making their way to the major leagues. And that bodes well for any franchise.
Well, and we have seen the effect of that all spring long. When you have homegrown talent, they have a tendency to push each other a little more intensely. Off-speed pitch, and Brandon Phillips strikes out. 2 quick outs for Matt Boyd. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. A crowd on hand here in Montreal. Olympic Stadium opened up for the 76 Olympics here in Montreal. This is Zach Cozart, the shortstop. Cozart drove one deep to center field. It drove Pompey to the warning track, but he was able to make the catch. Pretty good movement on that changeup. That ball moves down and away from the right-handed hitting shortstop.
Looks like he throws it like a three-finger changeup and just rolls it off that last finger.
Do you like college pitchers into your system?
I wouldn't just draft college pitchers. I'd like to have a little bit of both. High school pitchers could have a higher ceiling. But if that college pitcher's name is Steven Strasburg or Roger Clemens, I think I'd take my chance with those two guys.
I think you got a chance to be a general manager. Way to go out on a limb, big boy.
But I wouldn't want to just have college pitchers, because college pitchers, for the most part, are finished product. What you see is what you get. With young high school pitchers, there could be some man strength growing into those guys. And 4 or 5 years later, they're only 23 years old. And I think you're starting to see that with an Aaron Sanchez, somebody like that.
There are little Yuppies in the crowd. Two outs. This is Marquez Smith. He grounded out third base his first time up. Another high school pitcher that has fared well so far for the Blue Jays is Daniel Norris, who will start game 3 against the Yankees. And how about that left-handed pitching matchup? Thursday night in New York, CC Sabathia against Daniel Norris, who will make his major league debut against the veteran left-hander CC Sabathia.
Well, I can't wait. His first big league start at Yankee Stadium, and he gets to go up against one of the great ones of his generation, CC Sabathia.
Back-to-back walks for Boyd with 2 outs. Going to have to get back into the strike zone. Russell Martin hasn't seen Matt Boyd. He went to talk to Boyd as Matt came in from the bullpen just to make sure he knows what he throws. Hey, I'm Russell. You're Matt. Nice to meet you. What do you throw?
One's a fastball, two's a curve. It looks like he's got a good fastball, good overhand curveball, and a changeup. And this is a good visit right here by Martin out to talk to the young left-hander.
We have noticed all throughout spring training, Pete Walker, the pitching coach, hasn't gone to the mound very often during the course of spring training games. He hasn't had to. He's got Russell Martin behind the plate, and if Russell sees something amiss, he'll go to the mound himself. He's really into this pace of game thing. 2 outs. This is Billy Hamilton. He had an infield bunt base hit in the first. Had a hustle double in the third. With 2 outs, he blooped one into right and beat the throw into second. There go the runner at third. Russell Martin's not going to have a throw. Zach Cozart was 7 for 7 last year for the Reds in steal attempts. Here he picks the pocket of Russell Martin, who didn't have much of a chance.
First stolen base of the spring for Cozart. He got that one off the young pitcher. He's a one-looker. He's taking one look and then delivering the ball home. That's just taking advantage of a young player where the game really speeds up now with runners on base, trying to get that final out of the inning.
First and third now. There's a strike. Well, you can imagine Boyd comes into the game in relief of Mark Burley. He gets Jay Bruce to fly out to right, strikes out Brandon Phillips, and thinking, this is really easy.
I've got 8 and 9. I'm going to get out of this.
Hamilton gets a piece of it. But you can bet that his heart's pounding a little bit. Biggest crowd he's ever pitched in front of. He's from Seattle, Washington, as we mentioned. He played at Oregon State University in Corvallis, Oregon. I want to remind you, if you're looking for the Montreal New Jersey game, it is on right now on Sportsnet 360, so make sure if you want to see some hockey action. 2-1 Montreal leading in the second period, but go ahead and watch it for a bit, but come on back to Montreal. This is popped up. Reyes quickly out from his position at short. Pilar calls him off. The left fielder is there. The Reds get back-to-back 2-out walks, but Matt Board gets out of it. He's got a big league spring training inning under his belt. It is spring training, so things are very relaxed, and as we've done throughout all spring, we are pleased to be joined now by Drew Hutchison, who happens to be the opening day starter against the Yankees on Monday. So, Hutch, how does that sound?
It sounds pretty good. Definitely excited. Glad to be here in Montreal, and looking forward to Monday.
When you came to spring training, and I know you're a competitive guy, very competitive, but when you came to spring training that first day, did you ever dream in your mind that you'd be the opening day starter for the Blue Jays this year?
Yeah, of course. Obviously, that's always, what you want to do, and that's always, everyone's goal. So, coming to spring training this year, I was just trying to prepare myself to get ready to go this year and do everything I could to put myself in that position.
When you think about the Hallidays and the Steebs and the Keys and the Dickies that have started, what's that make you think about?
Yeah, definitely. It's humbling, and it's an honor, and it's something you don't take lightly. And when you think about it that way with all the other guys you've started before, it's something special, definitely.
Let me ask you about this. You've got the two veterans in Dickey and Burley, 40 and 36, and then you've got yourself. You're the older of the three young pitchers in the rotation at 24. How does that help you guys as young starters on this team to kind of feed off one another, if you will?
Yeah, definitely a ton. Obviously, those two guys have been through just about anything we're going to go through, so we can look to them, and they've both been great so far. Mark, as always, and RA. They've been, great and, very valuable for us. And, for those two guys, it's going to be their first full season starting. They're going to help them out a lot.
Hutch, we've had shots of you in the dugout, almost like the old Atlanta Braves starting pitchers talking about hitters and things like that. We've had shots of you talking to the starters during games. What are you guys talking about? What do you, as you watch the ball game?
We're just talking about the game. Talking about hitters. Things we see. Just little stuff. Just baseball talk. The more you talk baseball, the more you learn from anyone. Anybody can learn from anybody else, and maybe somebody sees something a little bit different than you, and just talking shop.
What do you think about the way this team has come together here as spring training is winding down, the overall makeup of the ball club?
Yeah, it's been really smooth. We've gelled together pretty quickly, and it's I'm looking forward to it. I know everybody else is too, and we have a really good feeling in there right now, and ready to get spring training done with, and get the season started.
You were named the opening day starter for the Blue Jays, so you've had some time now to think about the Yankees. What kind of prep work are you doing, getting ready for Monday?
Yeah, just your normal approach, the normal things you look at, before you face a team, and I faced them a few times before, so just like any other start, even though it is opening day, just looking forward to getting out there and competing.
Okay, now the serious question. We got 2 outs here. Pat and I were kind enough to allow you to be in the commercial with us, and we haven't seen it yet. You got a chance to see the commercial on Sportsnet. Give us your opinion.
I think it's great. I think there's one actor who's in a jersey that kind of stood out than the other guys. But
was his number 36?
Yeah, I think it was. I think he picked up the slack a little bit, and I think it's pretty good. I think you guys will like it.
We're looking forward to seeing it. Drew, thanks for your time, and look forward to Monday. I know you're going to have a great time.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
That's Drew Hutchison. He'll get his first opening day start Monday afternoon at Yankee Stadium, and he'll take on Masahiro Tanaka and the New York Yankees. How special is that, huh, for a 24-year-old?
Tanaka at Yankee Stadium, I think it's exciting. And he's the youngest in Blue Jay history. You were rattling off those pitchers earlier, Halladay and Key, guys who have had opening days for the Blue Jays. He's going to be the youngest.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable when you look at the list of starting pitchers over the last several seasons, going back to 77. Bill Singer made the first start for the Blue Jays in 77. You can start at 2000. 2001, Loaiza opened up, and then Carpenter, Halladay made 7 starts in a row. Sean Markham in 10, Romero in 11, Romero in 12, and then Dickey, and now 2015, it's going to be Drew Hutchison. Dave Stieb, of course, a great right-hander, made 5 opening day starts. Jimmy Key made 3 in a row. 87, 88, 89.
I remember that one.
Pat Hentgen, our great friend and former Cy Young Award winner after that Cy Young Award in 96, drew the opening day nod in 97. He also started in 99 as the opener. David Wells opened up the season in 2000.
The Blue Jays have been blessed with some great pitching, haven't they, over their time?
They sure have. And now they got a core of young starters who are trying to etch their names in the annals of pitching history. That's off the end of the bat. That's going to drive Marlon Byrd deep in left field. Smoke pops out. 3 up, 3 down. Jason Marquis has retired 13 straight. Vladdy is in the house in Montreal. On the field.
Buck, thanks very much. You know, at the start of the Cactus League exhibition season, I flew to Arizona to sit down with new MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred. And as we talked about this weekend, I asked him what needed to happen in order for Major League Baseball to return to the city of Montreal.
The Expos left because the feeling was there was an inadequate facility in Montreal. There would have to be, at a minimum, a commitment on facility, I think, before a club would be prepared to relocate there or before we would consider it as an expansion site.
Okay, so you're saying there's a chance?
I would say I would never say there isn't a chance of expanding in Canada or having a team relocate to Canada. And Montreal's a great city, and I do think that the showing surrounding the exhibition games is an impressive indication of interest.
You can hear more from Commissioner Manfred, including his thoughts on former Montreal Expo and Cincinnati Red Pete Rose this Sunday on the MLB Central Season Preview at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific Time. Hope you'll join us. Buck?
Hazel, we're looking forward to that. That'll certainly be a great opportunity to hear from the new commissioner. He's the 10th commissioner in baseball. This is Christopher Negron batting against Liam Hendricks as the teams have started to make their spring training changes.
This is when the fun begins, around the 6th inning here. All kind of changes. Liam Hendricks into the game. This is his 9th appearance. He's going to pitch out of the bullpen for the Blue Jays this year as a long man.
Good sinking fastball, and Hendricks. Blue Jays really haven't finalized their roster, if you really think about it. They have yet to decide between 7 or 8 relievers. Of course, that would have an impact on the extra men, whether or not you have 3 or 4 extra players. Hendricks bounces the ball in the dirt. That's going to get away from Russell Martin, and Negron will reach on the strikeout and wild pitch. So Negron's aboard. He was batting for Joey Votto. And now we're going to have another pinch hitter. Skip Schumacher will bat for Todd Frazier. The Reds did not get into Montreal until just before midnight last night. They were playing a game in Arizona and left the Phoenix area and didn't arrive until late. Negron with a big lead at first is going to get chased back. That's Danny Valencia at first base, taking over for Justin Smoke, the starter.
That was a long day for the Reds yesterday, wasn't it?
They played the Indians in spring training to wrap up their Arizona portion of the spring schedule. Skip Schumacher is a very good extra player. Can do a lot of things to help you win ball games. The Reds believe they've got a good chance to contend in the NL Central. They'll open up against the Pirates at home.
Tough division, the NL Central. I think if the Reds stay healthy, that was their biggest problem last season. Brian Price's team had so many injuries to overcome. You mentioned Joey Votto missing 100 games, none after July the 5th last season. Jay Bruce missed some time.
This has popped into the seats.
And they're already going to start this season without Homer Bailey, one of their big young stud starting pitchers, who's going to miss the first month or so.
I talked to Walt Jocketty, the GM, before the game, and he said Homer Bailey is going to miss 1 start. That's Jocketty in the middle of your screen there. He is in his 21st season as a general manager, his 41st season in baseball. He took over the Reds GM position in April of 2008. And he likes his team. He said, if we can continue to keep these starters in the rotation, I think we're going to be all right. Schumacher strikes out. Second strikeout of the inning for Liam Hendricks, but just the first out.
They've got a true number 1 in Johnny Cueto to build that starting staff around as Liam Hendricks picks up his second strikeout of the inning. The first recorded, as the other one was a wild pitch. Hendricks coming out of the bullpen. You were talking a little bit about Hendricks and the dynamics of him making this team right here. If they go with 8 relievers, one of the position players does not make this team.
This is Chris Dominguez, who is batting for the catcher, Nevin Mesoraco. The Reds will make wholesale changes as we are in the 6th inning. Dominguez is 28 years old. He was signed to a minor league contract in February this season and brought to spring training camp. Got into 8 games a year ago with the San Francisco Giants. His only major league experience. He had spent his entire career with the Giants and left as a 6-year minor league free agent. On the ground, Reyes comes after it, gets a nice hop. Travis quickly turns it, and Valencia digs it out of the dirt. Second double play turn by the infield tonight. Reyes came after that slow chopper, and Devin Travis, the youngster, with a good pivot at second. Some questions about Travis's defensive skills. I've seen no problem whatsoever. He hung in tough.
The Stanley Cup playoffs are almost upon us, and tomorrow on Hockey Night in Canada, 5 choices of nationally televised games. And you can start it all off with Hockey Central Saturday starting at 6:30 Eastern. Visit sportsnet.ca/schedule for details. Buck.
Thank you, Barry. It is a great evening here in Montreal, and Montreal loves baseball. They love Blue Jays baseball. They'd love to see baseball back here on a full-time schedule. Speaking of hockey, as Barry mentioned, the playoffs are coming up. The Montreal Canadiens are in New Jersey taking on the Devils tonight, and you can check out that action on Sportsnet 360. It is 2-2 in the second period there in New Jersey, so make sure you check that out. But come on back. New pitcher in the game for Cincinnati is the flame-throwing left-hander, Aroldis Chapman, and Kevin Pillar knocks it to the wall, but up against the wall is caught as Pillar jumps all over it. That's Steven Selski in left field.
Kevin Pillar has been swinging it, and he thought he got all of it right here. Aroldis Chapman is going to supply the power. You just have to get the barrel out, and Kevin just missed that one. You want to see the best fastball in baseball, you're going to see it right now from this man right here, Aroldis Chapman.
Chapman is now 27 years old. He signed from Cuba as a free agent January 11, 2010. This ball's off the end of the bat. Devin Travis making a bid for a base hit. He's going to drop it in front of the right fielder. Had to skip Schumacher out in right there. Travis has a base hit, and how about that? He can put Aroldis Chapman in his book.
Put him in his book. It wasn't hit that hard, but it was placed perfectly right off the end of the bat. He's got such a short swing. He doesn't have a lot of movement in that swing. Finds the hole in right field for his first hit. Just the Blue Jays' second hit of the night.
Devin Travis has had a good spring. Jose Reyes goes after that first pitch. The Blue Jays beat up on Chapman last year, first game of a 3-game series in Cincinnati. That was quite a night, back and forth all night long. Early in the ball game, the Reds had an 8-0 lead. The Blue Jays came back and won that ball game. Chapman pitched in the 9th inning. He faced 6 Blue Jays. That game was June 20th. Lasted just 2/3 of an inning. Chopper bounced to first. Nice play at first. Chapman not in time at first as Reyes reaches. Travis is out on the fielder's choice, 3-6. But you get a base stealing threat in Reyes at first.
Or do you?
Now you got Ryan Goins as both teams are making wholesale changes here.
I think that's the right move right there. You get 3 at-bats from your regular, then you get them out of the ball game because we got a quick turnaround tomorrow afternoon.
Well, Reyes has had a good spring, and he's anxious to have a healthy start to his season. Remember, last year he got 1 at-bat in Tampa Bay before he had to give in to that hamstring injury and went on the DL. This is Russell Martin. He has struck out and grounded out.
You know he wants to do something dramatic, don't you?
Wouldn't that be fitting?
Yeah.
His final at bat probably in this game tonight. Scoreless ball game. Chapman threw a pitch at Pittsburgh in 2011. It was recorded at 106 miles an hour. That's a good fastball.
Best fastball in the National League. He had 54 innings pitched last year and had 106 strikeouts. He has the Major League record for most strikeouts per 9 inning. Last year, 17 strikeouts per 9 inning average, which is a big league record. And he does it basically with that heater.
He averaged 100 miles an hour for the season last year. And you'll remember that he had a very scary incident in spring training last year in Arizona when he's hit in the head off the bat of Sal Perez of the Royals. And he suffered a skull fracture. He got a late start to the season. Didn't make his first appearance until May 11th. Martin gets jammed. They'll go to second for the force out, and the Blue Jays leave a runner. We have played 6 complete here. Still looking for the first run of the ball game.
You don't want to miss. At the Letters with Ben Nicholson Smith and Arden Zwelling. Check it out on sportsnet.ca and iTunes.
Gibby, what did you do? Guys, Gibby just stole my chair, so I figured if he's going to sit in my chair, the least he can do is read the promo for me.
That was pretty good work, Gibby.
I was like, I could have swore that sounded like John
Sounded like
Gibbons.
Gibby, yeah. He never missed a beat.
Let's go, Blue Jays!
Barry, I wouldn't let too many people do that too often. You'll be looking for work.
I'm easily replaced.
Showing you that your job
Hey, maybe I can manage, guys.
This is Todd Redmond. Last year for the Jays, he got into 42 games. Did a nice job pitching in long relief for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, forget about that one-loss record. That's happens when you pitch in long relief, but the earned run average is the number I would take a look at. 324 for Redmond. He comes after with a fastball, a little breaking ball, and a changeup. This is his 7th appearance of the spring, and he will pitch out of the bullpen this season for the Blue Jays as a long man.
That is Brennan Bosch, who entered the game defensively in center field, goes after the first pitch and grounds out to the first baseman. Going to have to bear with us as we're trying to get everybody into the ball game. We have been deluged with changes defensively and as pinch hitters, so we'll try to catch up as quickly as we can. Todd Redmond is now 29 years old. He'll turn 30 on May 17th. He's from St. Petersburg. Originally signed with the Pirates in 2004. This is Brian Pena, who has taken over behind the plate for Devin Mesoraco. Brian Pena is a perfect backup catcher. This is a little looper. This is trouble. And Pompey says no trouble at all. Got a good read off the bat and makes an easy play of it.
Well, he covers so much ground in the outfield. He's getting good jumps this spring. And he just flat out won that center field job in spring training.
You remember early in the spring, Kevin Pillar and Dalton Pompey were flip-flopping center and left. They would go back and forth, and in about 10 days into spring training, John Gibbons said, you know what? I got my center fielder. I'm going to leave Pompey out there, and he did a terrific job. Dalton played 20 games in Florida. This is his 21st game of the spring. Kevin Pillar missed 7 games because of an oblique strain, but he has shown no lingering effects from that injury. This is Ivan De Jesus Jr. batting. The regulars have been removed after their 5 innings of work, at least for the Reds. Redmond drops down a bit, misses outside with that fastball.
If that name, De Jesus Jr., sounds familiar, his father played in the Cubs organization, Ivan De Jesus, and the Philadelphia Phillies, another ex-teammate of mine.
Todd Redmond has a good inning of work. No problem whatsoever. 3 up, 3 down.
The Blue Jays take on the Braves at 107, and for the first 20,000 fans, you will receive, and you can see it there, a Jose Bautista bobblehead doll. These are very popular, and they will go fast. If you want to get to that game, you can call for tickets at 416-341-1234 or visit BlueJays.com, and they will be lined up early outside the Rogers Center. Buck?
Well, you can bet they will. That'll be a very popular day as you get a chance to collect the Jose Bautista bobblehead doll. Good crowd on hand here in Montreal. We've not been given the attendance, but you can bet it's going to be close to 40,000, if not more. And they have been entertained, and this is an old-fashioned pitching duel. Not much offense, 5 hits in the game in total. The Reds and Blue Jays are scoreless, but Blue Jays, middle of the order, Bautista, Encarnacion, and Donaldson will face the new pitcher. That's the right-hander, Burton Badenhop. Badenhop last year pitched for the Boston Red Sox. He had a good year. Made 70 appearances for the Red Sox and had a .229 earned run average. Bautista hits it sharply on the ground to third. Strong throw in time. I want to remind you, we'll be right back here at Olympic Stadium tomorrow, and it all begins at 12:30. That'll be the pregame show. We'll be followed at 1 o'clock, and you'll get a chance to see Anthony DeSclafani, former Blue Jay farmhand who went to the Miami Marlins and then has been traded to Cincinnati. He'll start for Cincinnati. And how about a chance to look at Daniel Norris, his last tune-up before he makes his regular season start on Thursday night in New York against CC Sabathia.
That's going to be exciting to watch Norris tomorrow.
That's past the third baseman down the left field line. Encarnacion is headed for second. And he's going to get there with a stand-up double. Encarnacion, Edwin had 34 doubles last season. That double will be his final at-bat here tonight. He'll give way to the pinch runner.
You know what made that impressive by Edwin Encarnacion is the Reds were on a shift, and they had 3 infielders on the left side, and he still got it by him down the left field line. That is by Dominguez, the third baseman. It rattles around, hits hard. Edwin is starting to swing the bat, starting to get that timing back, and it couldn't come at a better time.
Pinch runner is John Birdie at second base. He is 25 years old. He's a 2011 draftee by the Blue Jays. And this is Josh Donaldson, scoreless ball game with a runner in scoring position. Donaldson 0 for 2. Jason Marquis was the starter, and he retired the final 13 batters he faced here through 5 innings of work. You don't think that makes Brian Price and Jeff Pico, the pitching coach, feel pretty good about their pick of Jason Marquis?
And Walt Jocketty. Because Jocketty went out and signed him, didn't he? He had him before.
Walt Jocketty, the GM, signed Jason Marquis late in the offseason. Birdie breaks to third, and this ball is tapped out in front of home. Badenhop makes a good play to retire Donaldson. Birdie had a great jump at second and was thinking about scoring if they misplayed that little tapper in front of home.
Well, that's his calling card. He's got some speed. He can run. He got a nice jump off of Badenhop. The ball's tapped out in front. Watch Louis Rivera telling him, hey, come around. Give me a good turn at third base. And if that throw is high or it gets away from the first baseman just a little bit, you can score. And now he's telling him, anything in the dirt, you be alive. Scoreless ball game.
Birdie is in his 5th season in the minor leagues. He went to Bowling Green University. First pitch strike to Dalton Pompey. Pompey is 0 for 2. He's popped out and struck out. Boy, that's a bowling ball sinker right there, and the bottom drops out of that pitch.
That's what you get with Burt Badenhop. Lots of ground balls.
Badenhop, over the last 6 seasons in the big leagues, has thrown 53 ground ball double plays. And he goes upstairs for the strikeout, so the 1-out double is stranded at third. We'll move to the 8th, still looking for the first run of the ball game. chance to play in his hometown. And offensively, like the rest of the hitters in this ballgame, not much to show for the night. There have only been 6 hits in the ballgame. Russell Martin finishes up 0 for 3 with a strikeout. So he's going to come out of the game. He's just warming up the new pitcher right now. And he's had a good day. Had a lot of fun. Got a chance to catch up with some friends and family and playing in his hometown in a ballpark he used to go to as a kid.
Yeah, I think he'll have a good night's sleep tonight when his head hits that pillow. It's been a long day for him.
So this is kind of interesting. Russell Martin, he went out there and he couldn't fool us. I knew he wasn't going to catch without any catcher's equipment. So Russell Martin has been giving special treatment by his manager. He's not taking out the pitcher, he's taking out the catcher.
That's cool. It's like a coach who calls a timeout, their best player leave the field. So Martin gets to leave to a standing ovation. How cool.
You know, a lot of people can take that the wrong way, but in knowing Russell Martin and how he is held in high regard for players, coaches, managers, and opponents, I think that was very appropriate and very well deserved that he was able to walk off the field and accept that nice round of applause.
They know what it means to him to play here.
New pitcher in the game is Aaron Loop. Aaron Loop has moved up the totem pole with Brett Cecil starting out the season as the closer. Loop will get a lot of good innings of work. Boy, he has really developed, hasn't he?
He's had a very good spring. This is his 8th appearance, all 1 innings so far this spring. 7 innings. He's only given up 2 earned runs. His fastball looks crisp. His breaking ball looks crisp. And his changeup, I think, is really coming along.
He said his goal this spring was to tighten up his slider and develop a little more consistency with that breaking ball. And he can use it to lefties and to righties. Sharply hit, but right to the second baseman. Travis handles it nicely. Russell Martin, I understand you're on the headset down in the dugout.
Yeah, I hear you guys.
It's got to be a pretty special day for you, huh? Talk about your emotions as you got a chance to play in front of a lot of family and friends.
I mean, this was as nerve-wracking, I guess, as my first game in the big leagues. It was unbelievable. Seeing my dad, play the national anthem before the game is a pretty special moment for me. I wish I could have done a little bit better, though.
Hey, nobody's doing very much tonight with the bats, that's for sure.
Man. I guess we're saving it for the season or something.
Tell me about that pitch that you saw from Jason Marquis. You faced Marquis in the past, but it looked like he surprised you.
Oh, he definitely surprised me. I turned back and asked Mesoraco what that pitch was, and he was like, it was a splitty, but, it acted like a knuckleball. Look like Diggy was on the mound for a second there.
That wasn't fair. Here it is. We're going to show it right here. Yeah, splitty. It just kind of went away from you. You took a look at him and said, what the heck was going on there?
Yeah, that was unbelievable.
Russell, talk about your day when you come back. When you have come back here to Montreal. You've had a long day today.
Yeah. No, I mean, I had a nice day today. Started with breakfast and then went over to sign some autographs, answer some questions at the Rogers, at like a Rogers tent downtown, and then came to the field, did some interviews and stuff, and went out on the field, played a little bit of soccer. And then saw Vladdy go on the field, Orlando Cabrera go on the field. My dad played the anthem. It was a special day today. It was awesome.
Russell, outside of your family, obviously it's always great to see your family. Was there somebody in your baseball past here in Montreal you got a chance to see over this weekend?
Probably not as many as I wish. I should. All my coaches. I wish I would get a chance to see them. I think there's a couple of them here tonight. I'm not really sure. Ian Jordan might be over here. Maybe Terry Doucette is around here somewhere. There's my pops up there on the screen right there, chatting it up.
It's the first time we've seen him sit down tonight.
I tell you what, he's had as much fun as you, and he has been equally as emotional as you, as I know you know that.
Yeah, he gets fired up. He has a lot of passion, and I think I get that passion from him.
Does it make it easier for him to watch you now that you're going to be playing in Toronto?
Oh, absolutely. It was a big reason. it was a big reason for me to sign. I mean, it was just I wanted my dad to be able to see me play and stuff, and now he gets to come down, and I got some family in Toronto, so you know, get him to stay at the hotel and come watch as many games as he wants to. Hopefully he gets to watch 81. Hopefully more. Hopefully he gets to watch some games in October.
Joey Votto told me he hoped that's the case. Maybe a Cincinnati-Toronto World Series would be kind of special.
It'd be awesome.
Russell, we got a chance to show you some video of your father playing the national anthem, and take us through your feelings as you watch this video of him playing both national anthems.
Yeah, I was battling some tears right there, boys. It was awesome. Yeah, I was hoping you guys didn't get that on camera, but you did.
We don't let much slip around here, Russell. It means so much to you, I know, and both Pat and I played, of course, but to share those types of moments with your father is really special.
It definitely is special. I mean, he's been a big time supporter of myself my whole career, so you know, he's a big reason that I'm here today as we speak. It was a great inspiration to me. Kept me working hard, kept me in line, and also my mom. I mean, I can't forget my mom. And there he is.
I'll tell you what, I had chills when he was playing that. Outstanding stuff. Now, I talked about having a big day. How about tomorrow? Are you playing tomorrow?
I think I'm in there tomorrow. And, I mean, I hope I am. The fans here, I'm sure they want me to play. Maybe have a better showing, hopefully. I'm looking forward to it.
Russell, your first spring training with the Blue Jays, a lot of new guys, but it appears as though this has become a team very quickly.
It feels like it's starting to feel like a family. You know, guys are really pulling for one another, and I mean, that's what it needs when you're grinding all year long. Sometimes you need some people to kind of have your back and you know, encourage you as you go along in this long season. You know, when everybody's on the same side, pulling on the same side of the rope, trying to get to the playoffs and playing to win every day, it makes it really fun.
Russell, you've been through it all before in the big leagues. 9 years in the big leagues. You got Drew Hutchison opening day. You want to tell him anything special?
I mean,
it's his first one.
Yeah. I mean, just enjoy it, man. I mean, you just have to enjoy the moment that you're in, and really, it's no different. It's the same game you've played your whole life, and you just got to go out there and compete, one pitch at a time, and just, you know, just enjoy it as much as you can. And you know, the nerves, they come and they go. Normally you get the nerves before the game, but when the game starts, you feel pretty good about it.
Russell, of course, you know all about the postseason. You've been to the postseason 7 times in your 9 major league seasons. That's got to be a goal, of course, now that you've seen this team a little bit.
I mean, for me, that's always the goal. I mean, it's the only goal, really, to get to the playoffs and then hopefully bring back the hardware. I think the city of Toronto deserves it. I think Canada deserves it. I like what we have right now. I like our the mix of young and older veterans. I think it's a good combination. You know, I've seen it work successfully in the past, but I'm yet to have an opportunity in the World Series, and I'm really looking forward to it. And I think we got a shot this year.
That's pretty awesome, Russell. Thanks for your time, and enjoy the rest of the night. And I know you're going to have a good time tomorrow before we head to New York.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
All right. Thank you, Russell. Great to have Russell Martin with us. And spring training is special. Get a chance to get up close to the players. And there's a guy that's truly excited about his situation here with the Blue Jays.
He's been looking forward to this since he signed that contract.
Aaron Loops in a little bit of a jam. 2 balls, 2 strikes to the batter, Christopher Negron. He came into the ball game for Billy Hamilton. Tanner Navarro, the catcher, asked for timeout, and it is granted. There's a runner at third. That's Ray Chang. He came in the ball game as a defensive replacement at shortstop. Steve Selsky's at second. He had that infield base hit. This is poked down the right side. That's going to drift out of play, foul. That's Steve Tollison in right field now for Jose Bautista.
It looks like the Reds are going to try and play hit and run here and work on that contact play. The runner at third base was off on that pitch and off on the swing.
We are here in Montreal, and that's our broadcast position underneath the second deck. A great crowd on hand. It's been a festive night. It all began with the pregame ceremonies that included Orlando Cabrera and Vladdy Guerrero. Russell Martin Sr. played the national anthem. It's a tapper foul, and contact play is on. Ray Chang, the runner from third, broke on contact.
It's a great atmosphere, and I think it's a great atmosphere before the Blue Jays go into New York and play against the New York Yankees. You can't copy this down in Florida anywhere.
Well, both of these clubs play in front of about 5,000 fans during spring training, so this is quite a shot in the arm for your emotions. There's a good pitch inside. He gets Negro. What a strikeout for Aaron Luke. He can paint that inside corner with that heater.
And he can go in on those right-handers. Fastball command, I think, is very important for Aaron Loop. And you can see Navarro set up on the inside part of the plate, and Aaron hits that glove for a big strikeout.
Of course, Navarro started 102 games last year, so he knows all about Aaron Loop. This is Skip Schumacher. Shows bunt, takes a strike. 2 outs were in the top of the 8th inning. Johnny Navarro has taken over behind the plate for Russell Martin. Bouncing ball past Kawasaki in the left. That's going to score 1. Here's the throw from left field. It is past Navarro as Selski slides across home plate, and the Reds have taken a 2-0 lead on the 2-out single by Skip Schumacher, the veteran.
Well, he showed Kawasaki that he might bunt, and he brought him in. And when Kawasaki came in after the first pitch where he faked that bunt, Schumacher says, okay, now I'm going to slap one by you. Lets that ball get deep. Inside out swing, and Kawasaki can't come up with it. Dwight Smith makes a good throw, 1-2 hops, but Navarro cannot come up with the ball, and another run scores. Just like that, 2-0 Reds.
Leadoff walk comes in to score, and then that infield base hit scores as well. This is Chris Dominguez. Aaron Loop walked the leadoff man, shortstop Ray Chang, and then gave up an infield dribbler. Actually, Irving Falou started the inning grounding out to second, and then Chang walked.
And the whole key, I think, to this inning was the wild pitch by Aaron Luke. Took the double play out of order and had to bring the infield in. Well, now he's got to figure out a way to get Dominguez out.
Two 2-0 Cincinnati. First 2 runs of the ballgame come here in the 8th inning with 2 outs. Foul down the right side, well out of play. Skip Schumacher delivers the bouncing ball past the third baseman. Gets in on the hands of Dominguez.
See the difference between those inside pitches from Luke to Dominguez as opposed to the pitch that was inside against Negron? Those balls are up to Dominguez, and that's giving him a chance to just fight him off and foul him off. If he wants to go in there with that fastball, he's got to get it down, get it underneath his hands so he can't reach it. And those are the types of pitches that hitters will take, thinking that it's inside. You just got to get the ball down a little bit. There's a breaking ball. He goes around and strikes out. That ends the inning. But
The Reds scored 2 runs on a single by Skip Schumacher. Now it's time for Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell who brings on. Tonight they picked Russell Martin.
I would have taken that bet, getting a little fired up coming back home. The show said that he was going to go 2 for 4 with a couple of RBIs. Actually, he was 0 for 3. Tonight with a strikeout, a little anxious, that front shoulder opening up just a little bit, trying to pull the ball. So maybe tomorrow. Russell Martin went 0 for 3.
Russell said he'll be back in there tomorrow. That young lady having a good time here tonight. The simulation is powered by MLB 15, the show. Baseball is better, only on PlayStation. New pitcher in the ball game with the Reds leading 2-0 is Tony Cingrani, who has been a starter. Now he's working out of the bullpen for the Reds. He's a hard-throwing left-hander that's trying to recapture the form he had to start his career.
Yeah, he was moved to the bullpen early in spring training. He missed most of last season with a shoulder injury. 11 starts, 2 relief appearances. In 2013, outstanding numbers. Had 120 strikeouts in 104 innings. But now coming back from that injury, the Reds have moved him into the bullpen. And they need a bridge. They need someone to get to Aroldis Chapman, and it might be Tony Cingrani.
Cingrani's only 25 years old, and that shoulder injury really knocked him out of the season last year. Good matchup for Danny Valencia, who is getting his first at bat. Comes against a left-handed pitcher.
And he can wear out some left-handed pitching. Cingrani's got swing and miss stuff.
Danny Valencia has done a nice job. He's had a good spring. Valencia hit .359 for the spring. 14 for 39 with 3 home runs. Hits this one off the end of the bat. Big 2-hopper for Ray Chang at shortstop. He throws him out, 1 down. Actually, that's Negron at shortstop as he has moved to shortstop. They're all over the diamond now. Chang is in the DH spot, batting in the 9th spot.
Last season, the Reds' 8th inning was taken care of by Jonathan Broxton. Well, he's gone right now, so the Reds are looking for someone to pitch that 8th inning. And it might be Cingrani. He's got a good arm.
This is Kevin Pillar, who hit one to the wall in the 6th off of Aroldis Chapman. chase that breaking ball in the dirt. We haven't seen Pollard do that too often this spring. It's something he's really tried to address, and he's done a good job of cutting down on those wild swings.
Said he was a little anxious last season when he first came up, a little anxious to show his new teammates that he can play at the major league level, and pitchers will pick up on that. They'll see when young hitters are a little bit too anxious, and they'll start bouncing that breaking ball like that. But the more you play, the more comfortable you can become.
Good backup with that ball in the dirt. He threw him a slider and came back with that fastball on the outside corner for the strikeout. Look at that target by Brian Pena behind the plate, really accentuating down and away.
Gets down and then looks that ball right into his glove.
Devin Travis has gone 1 for 2 so far tonight. Goes after that first pitch. I asked Devin Travis if he had ever played in front of a crowd like this. He said, we had 31,000 at Omaha during the College World Series. He played for Florida State. Seminoles went to the College World Series twice while Travis was playing there. He also played in the Little League World Series in Williamsport, and they get big crowds there too, 25, 28,000 people.
Well, he needs to get the trifecta, the Big League World Series.
He's got that on his mind, you can bet.
I love that, what Russell Martin said about that, about the World Series. That's how you have to think.
Yeah. What's missing on my resume? A World Series championship. Of course, the Blue Jays, they are the team that has been out of the postseason the longest of all 30 teams. Kansas City put themselves into the postseason last year and played their way right to the 7th game of the World Series.
I tell you, the Blue Jays have loaded up this season. Sure, there's question marks. Everybody's going to question 6 rookies on a major league team and a lot of youth. But I'll tell you, you've been around teams that have young players. They really push the veterans.
Sharply hit, but right to the second baseman as Travis lines out to end the inning. Good inning for Tony Cingrani. 3 up, 3 down with a strikeout. We move to the 9th. 2-0 Cincinnati.
Jays regular season opens up Monday in New York, but they return for Honda opening week, April 13th through the 16th. The home opener is sold out, but if you want tickets for the remainder of the series against the Rays, call 416-341-1234 or BlueJays.com. Buck, if they sell out Rogers Center, which they have, they still will not have a crowd as large as they have here, I bet, tonight.
Good crowd on hand tonight. 46,314 on hand for the first of 2 games against Cincinnati. The record for a baseball game is 59,057 here in Montreal at the Big O. That was in the 1982 All-Star game. That was the baseball attendance record in this building. This is Brett Cecil, who delivers a first pitch strike to Brennan Bosch.
Toronto's new closer. He has anointed that in spring training. There are the numbers from last season for Brett Cecil in 66 games.
Bounces that breaking ball, and that's the question a lot of people have. His out pitch is that big curveball, and how is that going to play as the closer for the Blue Jays?
Came in a lot of situations last year with runners on base and wiggled out of it.
Comes back with a good curveball.
By using that breaking ball.
Cecil said early on in the spring he wants an opportunity to be the closer. There you see he's got that grip for the changeup. That's also a very important weapon for him. Now, why does he grip that ball in that changeup grip as he's set looking in for the sign?
You know, you see it so many times where hitters can steal a pitch from a pitcher just by that grip. Now, why he does that, he puts it in the changeup grip so when he switches to something else, his spike curveball or his fastball, he's not giving it away inside that glove. You see a lot of wrinkle in that glove and some movement, and that really gives it away. But he has found something that works for him. You start with the changeup grip. It must have been when he was changing to the changeup grip. He was wiggling his glove and giving it away. Now he starts with the changeup, moves to the spike curveball right here, picks up an out, striking out Brennan Bosch.
Good start to the inning for Cecil. This is Brian Pena, the catcher. He's a switch hitter batting right-handed against Cecil. Cincinnati has a 2-0 lead. They've scored 2 runs on 5 hits. There has not been an error committed in this game, and both teams have played very good defense.
These are 2 very good defensive teams. Cincinnati Reds last year had the fewest errors in the National League.
Blue Jays committed just 87 errors a year ago, and I'll bet you they're going to be better than that this year. They say that pitching is contagious. You get a few good starts and everybody wants to get into the parade. You remember last year the Blue Jays had that great streak of 6 innings or more starts from their rotation. Kawasaki throws out Pena, 2 outs.
And they were feeding off of each other, weren't they? They did not want to be the one to stop that streak of pitching at least 6 innings each start. They just feed off of each other.
They had a great run, and it was all about the starting pitching, and you're right, they just fed off one another. They also had 5 pitchers with 10 or more wins, only the second time in their franchise history they could boast that. They had 5 starters with 10 or more wins. Of course, Marcus Stroman had an 11-6 record, and unfortunately he's lost for the season. This is Ivan De Jesus Jr. Cecil trying to close out the Reds here in the 9th. Oh, 2.
He's got some weapons to get you out. It looks like he's turning that fastball over. And a good curveball.
The only other Blue Jays team to boast 5 starters or 5 pitchers with 10 or more wins was the '87 Blue Jays. Jimmy Key, Jim Clancy, Dave, Steve, John Cerruti, all starters had 11 or more wins, and then Mark Eichhorn pitching out of the bullpen went 10-6. So it's a rarity. R.E. Dickey was talking about this ball club, and speaking for the rotation, he said the goal is to throw 1,000 innings. That's a lofty goal.
The
Blue Jays
anymore. 200 innings by a starter. I don't want to say it's a rarity, but to have multiple pitchers on your pitching staff do that, it's becoming rare.
The last 2 seasons, only the Tigers starters have thrown 1,000 innings in the American League. past Ryan Goins into left field. Actually, that's Jonathan Diaz now, who has come in to play shortstop, and Goins has moved to second. They're shifting all over the place. I can't talk to Russell Martin and keep track of the scorecard, so just got to bear with me.
Cecil goes to that breaking ball 3 straight times, and it's a base hit by DeJesus, just out of the reach of Jonathan Diaz.
Irvin Falou bounces to third. Kawasaki throws to Goins to end the inning. Good inning for Brett Cecil. Gives up a 2-out single and nothing more. We go to the ninth. The Blue Jays trail by 2.
Comes your way tomorrow. 2 prestigious clubs clash as Arsenal hosts Liverpool. That's tomorrow morning, 7:30 Eastern on Sportsnet. At that same time, gentlemen, there'll be another soccer game going on here at the Olympic Stadium between Martin versus Bautista, Canada versus Dominican Republic. Not so prestigious as Liverpool against Arsenal.
Russell Martin has been doing that all spring long, and he gets his teammates involved. He uses that conditioning to just break the monotony of the traditional baseball exercises.
And build a team. He said it feels like a team coming together. This is Nate Adcock, who is going to come in and become the 5th pitcher for the Cincinnati Reds. He was signed to a minor league contract back in December. Invitation to spring training. He pitched in the Texas organization last year. He's going to try and finish this one off as he gets ready to start the 9th inning.
Made 7 appearances for the Rangers in the big leagues, 18 appearances in AAA Round Rock. He has been in the big leagues with Kansas City in the past, 2011, 2012. Got into a total of 36 games with the Royals. Ryan Goins getting his first at bat. Came into the game as a pinch runner back in the 6th, taking over for Jose Reyes. Goins has had a good spring. We know what kind of defender he is. He can play all the infield positions and has played in the outfield this spring.
And he's been flawless at every one of them. He's starting to swing the bat just a little bit more. Hit a home run in Wednesday's game, where they were down in Fort Myers.
Comes into this game with a .308 average for the spring, 16 for 52. 5 doubles, a triple, 2 home runs, and 7 ribbies. He is on the bubble. Depending on how the Blue Jays decide to set up their bullpen, and he doesn't do anything to hurt his chances right there with the leadoff single. That'll bring the tying run to the plate. Barry Davis was talking about Russell Martin and Bautista kicking the soccer ball around. This was earlier before batting practice, and they were out on the turf here at the Olympic Stadium kicking the soccer ball around, getting some exercise. There will be a great soccer tournament here later on this summer. The FIFA World Cup women's soccer tournament will take place here. They'll play here and several other venues across Canada. This is a big stadium. Of course, it was used for the opening ceremonies and the track events during the '76 Olympics. This is Deanna Navarro. Saw his numbers for the spring, a 200 average. Had 7 hits in 35 at-bats. Navarro had some knee issues that cut his playing time down.
And he will start the year as the backup catcher, an occasional designated hitter. You talk to every one of the coaches who had a chance to watch Deanna Navarro last year, and they want him in the lineup. He came up with so many big 2-out hits last year for Toronto.
Set a career high with 132 hits, also established a high in RBIs with 69. Going into the season a year ago, there were a lot of questions as to whether or not he'd be able to play every day. He had not played 100 games since 2009 with Tampa Bay. But he responded with a career high 139 games and a .274 average. He had a great year.
And a lot of them, again, 2-out RBI hits, clutch hits for the Jays last year.
1-2, Goins at first. Strike 3 call. Navarro caught looking at strike 3 as Adcock delivers that fastball down and away.
He's got a good looking sinker. Tough against a left-hander. Navarro with a good eye thought that one was off the plate. But it's a strike, 1 down.
Steve Tollison will bat. He came into the game defensively, taking over in right field for Jose Bautista. Tollison had a good spring. He had 3 home runs in the spring. John Gibbons has used Goins and Tollison much in the same fashion. Tollison and Goins have both played in the outfield this spring. Ball and strike, trying to tie it up with 1 swing of the bat. This is a big ballpark.
If you're going to hit one, I think you got to hit one down the lines. It will travel down the left and right field lines, but left center to right center, you got to be He-Man to knock it out of here.
Kevin Pillar thought he'd hit a home run back in the 6th. He was caught up against the wall, and Tollison can't believe he missed that last pitch. Steve's had a nice spring, as we've mentioned, and he appears to be on the team.
His versatility and his pop coming off the bench. Looks like he's trying to lift that sinker in the air right now. That's going to be tough to do. Right now he's just going to have to battle and square one up.
Ball in the dirt. Pena wanted to peel, no swing, says Marvin Hudson down at first. Two balls, 2 strikes. Ryan Goins with the leadoff single. He's at first. 1 out. Breaking ball catches that inside corner. That's that front door breaking ball that Tollison just couldn't swing at.
You give up on it, and then you pick up that it's starting to break, and you're hopeless. There's not much you can do with it. It just freezes you, and you hope it goes around the plate. At that time, it catches the inner half, and there's 2 outs.
Well, John Birdie came into the game as a pinch runner in the 7th inning, running for Edwin Encarnacion, who had doubled. This is his first at bat. He goes after the first pitch, and this could do it. Elan De Jesus Jr. catches it, and the Reds win it 2-0. A terrific ball game. Lots of good pitching and some outstanding defense from both ball clubs.
Yeah, from the Blue Jays side, though, you got your starter through 5 innings. That was Mark Burley. He was flawless, just gave up 3 hits and had a strikeout. You saw some good defense, and your starters got your 3 at-bats. This part of spring training, you're just trying to get through healthy, keep your at-bats, and gain some momentum heading into New York.
These 2 ball clubs will pick it up again tomorrow, the final spring game of the season. The game starts at 1. We'll be on the air at 12:30 with the pregame show. 46,314 here at Tobago. That's it from the booth. Let's throw it down to Barry Davis.
All right, thanks a lot, Buck. Coming up next, we have Sportsnet Central, Ken and Ivanka coming up. And don't forget to join us again, 12:30 tomorrow right here on Sportsnet.